Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hi!
No laughing.
This might be the first episode that I was ready. Although I am reading, so Jordan's going to talk to you first.
It's all good. Hey, welcome to another episode of Grease and Grace. My name is Jordan.
Oh, and I'm Kim.
There we go. Yeah, we are glad that you are here with us if this is your first episode. So, as we already said, my name is Jordan, and Kim is across the table from me, and we check out all the greasy and graceful side of things in our everyday life. So, it could be something like the Olympic Games, which we are going to revisit next week because those are going to be over, and we have some conclusions. So, would you do us a favor and go back and listen to the Olympics episode before you listen to part 2 coming up next week.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were talking about this week. Sorry. As Jordan was talking, I was reading because we do have one thing of feedback.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it.
But I thought you were talking that's what we were talking about this week, and I was like, nope. We're talking before this, and it's not over yet.
Nope. So sometimes it's pop culture, sometimes just thing that we know a lot about, sometimes it's something we know nothing about. But regardless, this week is going to be absolutely fantastic. We'll let you know.
We're so hyped about
in just
this
a minute.
topic.
We'll let you know what we're talking about in just a minute. Give us the feedback. What do you got?
I'm so nervous. Guys, listen. Jordan is so hyped about the topic. I'm not going to tell. I'm going to let Jordan introduce this one because he's thrilled. I don't know how we're going to have a conversation about this. Maybe I'll be
4
able
hours.
to.
You'll be amazed. You're going to be amazed.
I have like 2 things that I want to grease and grace, and that's it. Okay. But anyways, we got feedback on the back to school episode.
Oh, yeah. With Jen and Carmen.
With Jen and Carmen, which me listening, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, shout out.
So, I think that we might be interested in doing some more episodes with some guests because that was super. Mm-hmm. That was super fun to do. But,
super fun.
But anyways, somebody had emailed and said, "Oh my gosh!" All caps. "Oh my gosh, you guys!"
They're yelling at you.
I loved this episode so much. In addition to the usual awesome humor, there was a lot of meat and deep thought going on this week, especially with having guests' perspectives.
For sure.
There were so many themes that were interesting, affirming, and that I was elaborating on in my thoughts from she's a psychologist. From her psychologist viewpoint.
Yeah.
So she just said, "Bravo, guys. I think the listeners will really enjoy this one."
Oh, that's good.
So I want to hear more. I really want to know, how did you guys feel about the back to school episode with having the guests and whatnot?
It was a good combination between like just humor and like real. Some serious like real stuff. We got into some real stuff. So if you haven't listened yet, go back. If you enjoyed that episode, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Those things help us obviously because we are creeping Kimberly up on 1,000 all-time downloads. So we're creeping up in that number.
Look at us turning into little toddlers.
We're still in diapers, but there is that. So yeah.
Oh, that's
all right. So with that said, keep all the feedback coming. You can email us at greaseandgracepod@gmail.com, and the "and" is spelled out, by the way. So don't put the little "and" symbol in there because that's not okay.
Can you email "and"? Can you?
No,
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think so.
What are the characters that are allowed?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because I know there's dots. You can dots. You can underscore, all that other stuff. So smiley face.
I don't think that's right.
Grease and Grace Pod, smiley face at gmail. That's not it, by the way. Don't do that.
Special characters you can put in an email.
All right. So like we said, we do a deep dive on a specific topic. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at it from 2 sides, the greasy side and the graceful side. The greasy side, what we're talking about is the nitty gritty challenges, controversies, stuff that makes us say, that's kind of messy.
Yeah.
And then we look at the graceful side of things. This is where we see hope and inspiration and the ways we can rise above the mess. And by the way, you are going to definitely want to listen to it next week because we're about to unpack the Olympics again.
There's been so much. I was telling Jordan
it's
right
crazy.
Before this, I've been taking notes. I have a text that I have scheduled to send to myself next week just to make sure
that is unbelievable.
Because I watch them and then I'm like, I want to make sure that I talk about it.
Can't miss that. So we might have to make that a 2-parter. We'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty sure we can talk about it for a while.
Much.
I got a list. Looking at you, Michael Phelps. What a mess.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, don't even. We are I'm about to get fired up.
Oh, man.
But
We're not talking about that this week.
we're not talking about that today. We are talking about, ready for this? So excited for this. We're going to unpack the ocean.
I'm diving in. I'm going deep in. That's like this entire week. That song, if you don't know that song, it's Dive by Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Go listen to it.
Great song, but that is like the only song that I've had in my head. For
This is gonna be so fun. I cannot wait. People are gonna be like,
been stoked.
"This is the best episode ever. Why don't you tackle like nature?" Which we could.
It's so
we
fun.
can. Hey, anything is on limits. So
I'm
just
just here supporting Jordan's dreams this week.
Okay, so let me break this down for you guys who don't know. The ocean is. People are like, you know what the ocean is? No, you do not.
I feel like everybody just like, when you said the ocean, I just felt everybody like, what?
Like, hang in there, okay? Just hold on. It's going to get good. I promise. Maybe it's not. They're like, click off. See you later. So for the two of you that are left, all right?
One is a scuba diver.
Walter, he's like, oh.
And the other one is like a pocket dial. They don't know that their phone is playing right now. They're like, I hear somebody talking about water.
Julie, did you leave your phone on again? There's two human beings talking in the bathroom. What is happening?
Oh, my Lanta. Okay,
right.
so the ocean, guys.
The ocean is a body of salt water that covers approximately 70.8% of planet Earth. 70.
I thought it was more than that.
8% of our Earth that we live on is surrounded by water.
How much percentage of the Earth is covered in water? Is it 80 something? It's like
oh, you're talking about with like lakes and streams and all that other stuff.
It's like the same amount that our bodies are composed of.
I don't know.
It's like 82%.
In English, the term ocean also refers to any of the large bodies of water into which the world ocean is conveniently divided. The following names describe 5 different areas of the ocean.
The specific?
I like the Pacific Ocean. It's so good. I go swim there every fall break with my dad.
The passive aggressive.
So you got the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, Antarctic, or also known as the Southern, and the Arctic Ocean. The oceans contain 97% of the Earth's water, and it's the primary component of Earth's hydrosphere. Ooh. Thus, the ocean is essential to life on planet Earth.
I feel like this is where I'm going to just lose everybody's like faith in myself because like I'm like, where's the Indian Ocean at?
Oh, my wife already every week is like, does Kim have a degree? Like, there's every time that she listens to even like, so they were listening to our podcast coming back from like the lake the other day, and she's like, are you guys really that dense? I'm like, listen here, lady, like. We're creeping on 1,000 downloads.
How many downloads do you got, Bethany?
It's like, whoa.
Okay, so like right now, I'm looking at Jordan behind where Jordan is sitting. He has a gigantic globe.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a sticker.
Yeah.
But I could not tell. It only has 2 continents on it.
Yeah.
So there's another half. You need to have the other half somewhere.
I don't think I got that.
But I'm like, where's the Indian Ocean at? Is that...
I'll tell you in a minute. So the ocean's influences, this is the last sentence, climate and weather pattern, and the carbon cycle and the water cycle by acting as a huge heat reservoir. Didn't know that.
Like it holds it in.
I guess, yeah. The Indian Ocean is ready for this. It's right next to Africa. So it's between Africa and Australia. That's the Indian Ocean.
Okay, so everything that I know about the world right now.
It's gone. It's broken.
What in the heck? I need to pull up a globe.
All right, greasy side. Are we ready? Buckle up because it's about to get real. You want to go first or you want me to?
I only have one grease.
I got a ton.
Right now.
I got so much.
This is just the Jordan.
Listen here, ocean. I got beef with you. You stupid.
You are dumb. Okay, I'm still looking at Indian Ocean. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Man, what's the biggest ocean?
It's-
I'm still on like
It's
education.
named after India. I feel like my job is not to educate you every podcast. This is what Bethany's saying. She's like, I think Bethany just wants to come in and be like, listen, we should have her on the podcast. She could just tell us everything in 5 minutes that we need to know, and then she could just leave. Just be like,
Josh
I'm
does
out.
not listen to this podcast, but I'm sure that he would have the exact same reaction. Like
Boo.
if he heard me right now and he was like, Kimberly, like I can hear, he'd be like, I could hear his face because he wouldn't even say anything. He would just stare at me. Okay.
He's like, our boys are struggling because of this.
Oh, the Southern Ocean is big.
I love
well.
how you're
How
getting
do they
excited.
decide between? How do they? Where's
Decide
the
where it
lines?
stops and where it starts? I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't want to know any of this stuff. I want to talk about the greasy aspects
Okay,
of the ocean.
you go.
Number one, why have we not inhabited the ocean?
What do
I
you-
don't understand.
Like live?
If the ocean, Kim, is 70.8% of planet Earth, why do we not live either on or in the ocean?
Well, technically, we do live on the ocean.
No, we do not.
We're not floating, right?
No. What in the world? The continent goes all the way down. Like, there's not water underneath the continent. That would be an island.
Yep.
You thought North America was an island? All right, guys. Here's the
No.
deal. You're getting full Kim right now. Like, in all of her glory. You're getting all of it. No.
like-
Did you think... please tell me.
They have to float somehow because once upon a time,
No.
all of the continents
No.
were
They do not float.
Pangea.
They do not float. Let's get this
Yeah,
straight.
they were Pangea. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, so you came into this going, man, we're not going to have anything to talk about. And right now you are proving...
Pangea. Okay, listen. Anybody who I at least know some things. Pangea, the continent we know now as North America, was contiguous with Africa, South America, and Europe. They all
What was that word
existed. Contiguous? Is that what is the word?
Keep going. This is
What's
great.
the word?
This is the best episode ever.
What is it?
Just it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Just keep going.
Pangea first began to be torn apart when a three-pronged fissure grew between Africa, South America, and North America.
Mm-hmm.
Rifting began as magma welled up through the weakness in the crust,
Kid story.
creating a volcanic rift zone.
Where were
so
you?
it's because of volcanoes.
So they do not float,
Anyway.
or they would be an island. So I'm glad we got that figured out.
They used to be together. I just thought that they were all floating somehow,
That would be an island.
like loosely.
This is like Hawaii.
Australia an island?
What? No, it's a continent. This is so dumb. Oh, hit that stop button. Make this train wreck
The
just.
grease is Kim's lack of knowledge about the ocean.
Somebody's listening to this right now going, really? Like there's some
We
science
needed a
teacher.
marine biologist.
Where's the teachers that we had? Jen and Carmen from last week would be like, Carmen would be like, this is my daughter. I raised you.
No,
Like,
she never
what is happening? Oh my
We need a
goodness.
marine biologist in this hizzy.
Anyway, back to it. Why have we not inhabited the ocean? Like,
Do you want to inhabit
Yes.
the No,
that
why?
would be so fantastic.
No, it
Can you
would
imagine
not.
you go to Florida, right? And
Okay.
all of a sudden you just keep going. And it's just like a little like
scary.
tunnel and it goes all the way down and
No,
you
sir.
wave hi to and you wave hi to like Shamu and a blue whale and maybe
But
a couple
they're
of
not
other.
friendly animals.
They're not going to run into your tunnel.
They might.
No, because you'd be able
Have
to
you
see.
seen? Here's my grease with it. Is there have been people who've tried to inhabit the ocean and they got disintegrated.
What was that word again?
Disintegrated to like tiny little molecules. Do you remember that?
No.
That wasn't that
When
long
was
ago.
this?
Jordan. It was like
We're going to get in a fight. This is our first fight over the ocean.
This is like 4 quadrillionaires who were like, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a Sony game controller and I'm going to connect it to my
the
submarine.
Titanic boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that- I think there's a chick in there too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. My
We're the
fault.
Titanic boys. We're going to go to the deep sea. We're going to see
With our
what-
PS2 controller, and we didn't make it.
Yeah, I think he used like a PlayStation controller or something.
This just shows how stupid people are. I mean, I know we kind of prove it every week, but this is
They're
why
stupid with money.
somebody put on Quora. They put, "Why don't human beings live in the ocean?" And this guy said, "Because humans can't breathe underwater." No, duh. You can't breathe underwater.
Terrifying. Have you seen the deep water creatures?
Well, no.
I don't want to.
I've seen them when they come out.
I don't
I've
want
seen them at SeaWorld. I've seen them every other place.
Yeah.
But I have not seen them. Like, I'm not saying we inhabit, like, we coexist with, like, the blue whales in regards to, like, standing. I'm talking about, like, there's got to be a way to, like, have, like, some sort of, like, cube or whatever.
A biosphere.
There we go. You know what a biosphere is?
Do I?
I'm more impressed that you know what that is.
I said that word and I was like,
building the biodome.
did you see my
underwater.
eyes? I
Yeah,
said that word and I was like,
Is there?
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
So anyway, like this guy says, because we don't have gills. You guys are morons. That's not what I'm saying.
So you want to sandy cheeks it under the water.
What
you know?
is sandy cheeks?
From SpongeBob.
I don't know what that is.
She lives in like a dome.
Oh, she does?
Well, I mean, it's fake. Look up Sandy Cheeks.
Well, SpongeBob isn't real. Let's just solve that right now.
No, SpongeBob isn't real, but I mean, like, what you're hoping for. So, okay, so if Jordan doesn't know anything about SpongeBob, so SpongeBob
I'm
lives
looking
in
it
a
up right
pineapple
now.
under the sea, and
SpongeBob SquarePants.
and so he has a friend Sandy Cheeks, and
She's a chipmunk.
Is a squirrel.
Look like chipmunk to me.
She lives
Girl,
in
you
a
look like a chipmunk.
dome. And the dome, she can.
No,
like,
she has like a helmet, like a little.
No. That's like when she goes out into the ocean. But like where she
Oh.
lives in a dome, and it's got like trees.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her house right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think that's a thing.
Why is that not a thing? Sandy Cheeks has got it right. She's figured it out.
Hey, Nickelodeon, can you build one of those in real life?
She has like a little tire swing and a tree, and she just does she ever like go in there?
Yeah.
She hangs out.
There's
in there?
like an entire episode where SpongeBob
Tree
and Patrick
dome.
try to go into there, and it's all air, and so it's devoid of the very thing that they need to be able to breathe. And so like SpongeBob is like trying real hard to like survive in this dry environment, and he ends up like needing water, but he really tries hard.
Okay, so first of all, Sandy Cheeks has a hamster wheel in her thing. Like, so you're gonna go. I know this is totally like a rabbit trail, but she's gonna go in her little biodome to run on her treadmill.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Squirrels gotta exercise too, baby.
You said that like I was one of your children. Listen, sweetie. They gotta get.
Squirrels gotta run too.
Squirrels gotta run too. There's one of all of them have like little helmets on, and she doesn't because they went in, so they have like the inverse. So SpongeBob and what's his friend's name?
This might be the dumbest conversation.
It is.
we've
This
ever
is
had.
so stupid.
Okay, wait, what?
SpongeBob and his buddy
Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both have helmets on filled with water.
Yeah.
And she's in her little biodome without her helmet.
Yeah.
She also needs some clothes because
She's wearing her swimsuit.
Yeah, that's not a
Because
swimsuit.
it's sunny out somehow.
Girl.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of inconsistencies in SpongeBob. Anyways.
Anyways, so this is my beef. Like, why not figure out a way to get down there, build our own little biodome, and then we could live? Can you imagine? You could be like, hey, we got a perfect 3-bedroom condo in the Atlantic Ocean. That'd be fantastic.
But like, how do you get your groceries?
Who cares? We'll figure it out.
You'll care.
We'll figure it out.
You'll care.
Why not just have a little mailbox that fish swim in, and then you flip that mailbox back up, you grab your fish, and then you eat it?
How deep do you think?
The ocean is only...
No.
Oh.
Like where you'd be
I was
able
about
to
to give you the
live.
specs on.
No. Where could you live? If this
Under
we're
the
gonna
sea?
pretend, yeah,
With Ariel?
under the sea, under the sea.
I love that you're
How
looking at
can
me
you-
like I'm the idiot. Like, let's just say hypothetically, young Earth, we're talking 6,000 years. Nobody's thought about this. Nobody's looked at it and been like, you know what? We should definitely live underwater.
I don't think so, Jordan.
And nobody's tried. Elon Musk is building tunnels in LA when he should be building homes in the bottom of the Atlantic
because
Ocean.
they saw what happened.
What? No.
They saw what happened to the quadrillionaires who Game Boyed their way down the water, and they were like, I don't think that I want to partake in that.
I disagree. I think ocean scientists could.
How far can a submarine go?
How far? Underwater?
Yes.
Far enough.
Okay. So
far enough.
So okay,
I don't know how you could do. Haven't you ever seen like them like dam up like lakes to like build like bridges? Have you ever seen that? Okay, so what they'll do is if they build a bridge, they like block off the water on one side, they block off the water on the other side, and then they completely dry it out, and then they put like the pillar of the bridge, and then they let it go, and then
Really?
it's crazy.
Oh,
Why can't you do it to the
How
ocean?
they did that?
Why can't you do it to the
Because it's
ocean?
gonna crush you.
Okay, this is one of those times where I wish this was a video podcast because you just looked at me like, Jordan, I don't want you to die under the water. I want you to live. No, it won't crush you.
It's a valid question because do you get crushed in outer space?
If we can build aquariums to hold Shamu, we can build some sort of structure
for the fish to look at humans.
What about prisoners? What if we have prisons underwater and it's like, hey, man, you're going to the Indian Ocean 2 miles deep.
Yeah, I wonder how deep. Because, okay, so we're going to... This is so far out of my realm of understanding.
That's all right.
Okay, so...
How deep is
when
the ocean? Do you keep
people
asking me
go-
that? Oh, you're talking about like pressure, like how
Yeah,
far
like
down?
how deep could you go where it is... What's the word? Habitable? If it's inhabitable right now, it
I
would
don't
be
know.
habitable?
I don't know.
Livable? Like how...
This guy cracks me up. You're putting the colony in. Why can't we colonize the ocean? You're putting the colony in an aggressive, coercive, temperate saltwater environment where construction, maintenance, and infrastructure cost more than on land. No, I disagree. I'm sorry. You're putting the colony away from likely markets, cities on land. So have your market in the ocean. You get none of the benefits of living and building on land, cheap construction materials. So have another market. The ocean ecosystem is already stressed by fishing. What's the ocean colony going to do if not exploit the oceans more? I disagree. I disagree with all those things.
I feel like these are researched.
There has to be a guy.
Answers.
He's probably dead. Here's what happened. The guy started a podcast. He's like, why can't we inhabit the ocean? He's dead now.
So
The government killed him. The government's like, nix that guy. We tried that. It doesn't work.
okay, so let's see. I'm looking at submarines.
Mm-hmm.
How long can they stay at such? How deep can a submarine go underwater? How long can they stay at such depth before having to come up?
I love that
For
you're just in this.
oxygen.
Here's the deal. I'm not talking about inhabiting the ocean in regards to like having little like spacesuits like we do out in space, which is funny because we're trying to live on the moon, but we don't inhabit 70% of planet Earth, which is the ocean.
I hear what you're saying.
Validate me.
I hear you. I hear you and I see you. But I feel as though there's a reason. And that reason is because
Well, right now the reasons online are we don't have gills and can't breathe underwater.
instead of the vast openness that is the outer space.
You can't tell me we couldn't put like some sort of like hose that has like like oxygen,
Like a straw.
that like pumps like oxygen to like under the ocean.
How many things do you think would need to be coming out of this dome?
I don't know.
Like you would need output. Would your waste?
It would be so cool to have a city under the sea. Wouldn't that be just so
I think that's called
neat?
Atlantis and it's lost. I'm here to crush your dreams. Okay. The latest open literature says that a U.S. Los Angeles class test depth is 1,500 feet, suggesting a maximum depth of 2,200 to 3,000 feet.
I'll tell you what you should do. You should call Sandy Cheeks and be like, hey, how'd you do it?
Whoa.
Okay, so that's my greasy thing, first of all. I don't understand why I don't have it. Number two, I don't understand why we can't know more about it. This is always driven me nuts. They're like, oh, it's just dark down there.
Yeah.
We have LED lights that light up the sky. Like, what are you talking about? There has to be some sort of illumination technology that would let us see what's going
I don't think
on.
that it can stand to the pressure.
No, it would totally be able to.
Under pressure. No, I don't think so.
Queen
Like
song.
after a
Very good Queen
while,
song.
can't does
Talk to me, Goose.
does light not travel?
I'm all ears. Oh, no, I'm not. I just closed it down.
Does light not travel in pressure?
Oh, like in like not in pressure, in water, like what you're saying, like it's too dense.
Would you want to see what's at the bottom? I don't think I want to see it.
100%.
No.
100%.
Those are ugly.
I think there's some times where we're like, I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to know. And so therefore, like, there's got to be some crazy people out there that are like, I want to know. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, they're marine biologists who understand they can't live.
If we had one marine biologist on our show, they'd look at us and be like, "You
all are dumb.
You don't want to do this. Like, we did this for a living. You don't want to do this."
Yeah, no, that I can agree, because as much research that has gone into outer space.
Talk about it.
Like,
let's go.
There's so much research that has gone into outer space.
Yep.
And like, we have the Hubble telescope.
Come
so
on.
I can see what you're saying.
Keep going.
But also, what is the deepest part of the ocean?
2 miles. We are trying to get to
Really?
Mars. We are trying to get to Mars. Why? 70%. All right. Like, our founding forefathers were like, hey, we don't like Britain real well, so we're going to go to America.
Yeah.
And they came across the ocean on a ship, and they saw new land, and they were like, we'll live here.
Yeah.
All the land is taken. Right?
Yeah. So, but I don't think back then they had open ships. They didn't even have submarines.
I'm just saying, these crazy people in England were like, we're leaving. We can't leave anymore. Now we're sitting here going, hey, we're going to go to Mars. Why? Go right outside your door. I mean, 70% of the world is uninhabited, and you could go there. And we're like, nah, we're going to choose Mars.
Listen, sounds like you got yourself a solid dream.
So bad.
You go for it. You go for it. I mean, Matthew 28.
You're quoting Bible verse.
Go.
Go and make your disciples in the water. Tell Free Willy about Jesus. Free Willy look back at you and be like, hey, man, we already know about him. Like, we are good down here. You need to find your way back up there, Ariel.
Yeah, I do not understand how, like, there are still species that are being discovered.
Okay, so
in the ocean because it hasn't been explored properly. But then you can see other galaxies because of
you're speaking my language right now,
camera.
Kim. You are talking. I am so upset. I just don't understand. We keep like, we're like, oh, we're gonna get faster internet. I'm like, okay, what about?
Okay, but what about this fish over here? It's been, I don't know what it is, but we need to find out about it.
It's like, okay, here's how I think about it. It's like this is the only way I can think about it. It's like if your kid only lived in the kitchen, right? And he's like so mad about it. He's like this kitchen is there. He's like, this house is stupid. And you're like, there's a lot more house. And he's like, no, there's not. And you're like, yeah, there is. And he's like, no, there's not. You're like, well, you just spend your time in the kitchen, but there's like an upstairs and there's a downstairs and all. He's like, nah, I'm not going to any of those rooms. Like, at some point you'd be like, that's stupid. Why don't you go explore the rest of the house? If the world is a house, we are living in the kitchen. Why are we not going and exploring the rest of the house? I think God, when we get to heaven, God's going to look at me and he's going to be like, hey, man, what do you think about the ocean?
Conference room 48.
And I'm going to have to look at my Lord and Savior and go, you know what? We never went in that room. And he's like, well, that's too bad.
I don't know that I have ever desired to live in the ocean.
Tonight, you're going to go home and you're going to be like, that's a good point.
I just swam in the ocean for the first not for the first time, but I just swam in the ocean not too long ago.
Okay, we got to get to your thing. Like, you had one.
My one was the people exploring.
What do you mean?
Because to me, I'm like, y'all are idiots for wanting to go into the ocean. And then I'm sitting across the table from you and you're like, we've got land to explore.
Give me my Game Boy. We're going on a mission. I'm telling you what, man.
I think that we are a room at odds.
Yeah, we are. We're a house divided here.
This we are. Oh, man. So that's my only. I feel like maybe a second one would be like, it's uncharted. Like, we should probably get a hold on what is going on down in the water.
You should probably figure it out. Well, and here's the thing, like, right? Like, okay, so people go, they go like swimming, for example, right? And then all of a sudden, like, a shark comes in and they're like, oh man, it's a shark. And they come like flying in and they're like, nobody's looking at each other being like, we should probably figure out what that thing is. No, we're like, no, it eats us. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's like if you were out, let's say you went out west, right?
Yeah.
Or just Tennessee for that matter. And you go on vacation and you're like, oh, hey, I saw a bear. And you're like, nope, we're not going out of the house ever again because there's bear out there. No, we know a lot about bear because we figured it out. We have bear spray.
Yeah, but I don't.
I am so amped up. I've been amped up about this for a while.
You really have?
I'm so mad.
Like 2 weeks. I feel like
this whole thing's been bottling up inside.
I wonder if it's because they're easier to observe.
Oh, let's look at bears for a while.
Yeah, like,
there's some
Shark Week.
marine biologists is like, we've done this. We know about
Yeah.
sharks, but you idiots don't want to know about sharks. We've tried to tell you about sharks our whole lives, and you don't care.
I think too the biggest differentiation to me is the size of the animals that live in the ocean are much larger than any animal.
That's probably true. Like whales, like blue whales, are
They would,
absolutely ginormous.
like, They would crush an elephant.
It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
So I don't want to live.
I don't
want
want to live in that
Shamu
one.
to be my next door neighbor. And have you ever seen whales hunt?
Well,
Whoa.
yeah. But
Whoa.
can you imagine, like, instead of having a dog, you got like
Nope. A fish, a goldfish. Yep. Sure can imagine.
That's
that.
what happens. Little kids are like, that's my piece of the ocean right there. I have a piece of the ocean.
Yeah. No. That reminds me
Yeah, go ahead.
of having pets. This is
upset.
totally not related. Well, I mean, it's an octopus. There's a whole family. There's it's the sweetest thing. I found it. I went on to like a whole
You have an octopus? Please
deep
tell me you
dive.
have an octopus.
So in Oklahoma,
people have
there
them as
was-
pets.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, so there was this little kid in Oklahoma. He was like 9 years old. He was super mature, and his like dream was to have an octopus.
Okay.
Right. So
It's fair.
his dad
for you, buddy.
is a dentist, and I don't know what that has to do with this.
Is his dentist named Crentis?
No, but his dad and mom were like, okay, this kid has done some research. Like he knows a lot about octopi, and so
Oh, good for you. What do you use the
thank you.
plural? Yeah.
It's my English teacher that we talked to last week. So so they
This episode is so
go
off the rails.
and get this. Maybe everybody likes it because they're like, you guys have been on subject so well.
And
anyways,
now we're running.
okay, so
you are
they
climbing a
go
mountain right now, and I don't know where it's going.
They get a tank, okay?
Okay.
And so they get all of the stuff for this tank, and they're like, okay, son, we're gonna get you an octopus, but before you get an octopus, we have to do a lot of research, and you have to get like the tank like perfect conditions,
Okay.
which I don't fully understand because I'm like, it's in nature. Like
Yeah,
nature
yeah.
doesn't have perfect conditions, but apparently you have to have perfect conditions for an octopus to live in your house. So they like, there's a cycle that the tank has to go to get it to like the right pH levels or something like that. So they do all of this, months of work just on the water.
Okay.
And so then they pick out the octopus, okay? They pick it out, they bring it home, they put it in the tank, and things are good. The tank breaks a lot for some reason. Don't know why. But turns out octopus have, wait, I don't remember what the term is, but this octopus had babies.
Oh no.
So they ended up having 51
51?
51 octopus babies.
What do you do with those?
They started raising them.
Oh.
And so they had 51,
Where's this at?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so they couldn't like get rid of them because like the specific octopus that they had bought
Yeah.
was super rare, and they don't normally live like
Right.
out of the 51 normally like 2
Yeah,
will live.
Yeah.
And so like nobody knew how to take care of them, so nobody took them. And so this poor dentist family was like, we have
Stuck.
51 octopi living in our home. What are we going to do? And so they've raised these octopi, and Terrence is the name of Terrence the octopus or something like
Okay.
that. Look it up. It's on it's a TikTok situation.
Sure.
And so Terrence now has passed away. But it goes to show you that we don't know enough about the creatures in the sea,
Which is so
to
stupid.
be able to cohabitate with them.
That's so dumb. We should know. If we know how to put men in space, in spacesuits, and on metal objects, and we're like, no, man, you're good. Like, we're launching people off planet Earth in like 900 miles per hour. We're like, he's good. Like, that's not, but we're looking at the ocean going, nah.
Is there like a NASA for the ocean?
That's a great question. I don't know.
What does NASA stand for? National Astronaut.
I feel like that's another thing I'm going to get made fun of for, so I don't want to
Association.
do that. By the way, Terrence the octopus is a huge octopus.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's a big boy.
NASA mean in Hebrew. Why do we need it in Hebrew?
We don't need NASA in Hebrew.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
There you go.
So we would need a National Oceanic and Ocean Administration.
Oh, my goodness. National
Submarine?
NOSA. National Oceanic. What's the S stand for again?
Space?
So
you would need like submarine.
submarine. There you go.
I think we're starting to
We're
NASA for the
getting there.
ocean
We're getting there.
now.
If anybody wants to start a,
Give us a name.
yeah, we need the acronym for that.
Also, if we need funding for our ocean adventures.
That's true. I'm not going there by myself.
The National Submarine and Ocean Administration.
So, okay, so that's the greasy side. I have more, but I feel like I should stop. So, I mean, because I could go a while. Like, for example, why is the ocean one giant trash can? So this kind of like adds on. There's a guy, he's trying to clean up the ocean. He's like, which, again, if you want to clean up the ocean, I feel like we could inhabit it together. Like, this is
You
the
know
thing.
what? Okay, this is not. We're speaking of trash in the ocean right now because I saw this and I got mad. Now, you're not
Oh,
gonna
you
be
got two
living-
greasy things?
Yeah, because you're not going to be living under the water.
Mm-hmm.
But did you know that like old cruise ships, they just like
Yep.
send them out into the ocean
Yep.
and then they're just out there. Why don't we do something with that? Like,
Yep.
why don't we turn it into like an Alzheimer's? Because a lot of Alzheimer's people,
Talk
they're
about it.
runners. My grandma was an Alzheimer runner.
100%.
And homegirl, she took off all the time. My mom and dad found her once upon a time like 2 miles away from her house. You can't escape. I mean, if you escape, then you're in the ocean and then bye grandma. I don't know. But like
Do you know about the
use
Ocean Cleanup
those.
Project? Have you ever heard about that?
No.
The Ocean Cleanup Project is the largest cleanup in history. Go check it out. It's at theoceancleanup.com. It will make you so encouraged and discouraged at the exact same time. These people have boats, and they are legitimately like just cruising the ocean, and they get piles and piles of trash out of it. And when I talk
Really?
about piles, I'm talking about like, oh my word, tons and tons and tons and tons of trash like are coming out of the ocean.
It kind of makes sense because like where else does it go? Like you said, we only have so much land.
And we just throw it away. Like we're just like, oh, you know what? Where's a place where people can't see? The ocean.
Which then goes into like a whole entire environmental conversation because like where does it go?
100%.
I've watched a documentary. I've watched a couple documentaries on like environment and like the waste and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm not like necessarily saying that I'm like an environmentalist by any means, but like I
Just
try.
take care of planet Earth.
I try.
Yeah.
And some of the other like countries, I almost said the countries in America.
No, there's only one.
Some of the other countries in like other continents, the way that they are like eliminating waste and stuff like that is astounding. And it is very like I remember telling Josh one time, I was like, we live in an entire continent that is just like a
Trash.
dumpster.
A trash pile.
Dumpster
100%.
pile. Like it's so frustrating that it's not getting done correctly.
They say there's over 5 trillion pieces of plastic currently littering the ocean. 5 trillion. 5 trillion. That's so
Where does it
crazy
come
to me.
from?
People just, oh my word. People just like, but you're right. Like cruise ships sink. Boom. We're not getting that out. Like, can you imagine if your kids, like every time they were like in the house, if they just were done with something, they're just like, we're going to throw it in the bathtub. Like, and then all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
you can't take a bath anymore because there's so much trash in the bathtub. It
Yeah.
astounds me.
Yeah. I don't know like where did they put their trash? Like what is the name of the thing?
What, the Ocean Project?
Yeah,
The
that
Ocean
one.
Cleanup? They take it and then they do exactly what you just said. Like they're like packing it down, recycling, all that other stuff. So yeah.
And like turning it into other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely seen like a lot of like clothing items and stuff like that are made out of plastic bottles and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I see that it's happening. But yeah, when I remember seeing a video of like these gigantic cruise ships that they just are empty and they're just floating in absolutely nothing. And I'm like, we could use it. It's just like the same situation with malls.
Yep.
Malls are turning into like.
Oh, I had a philosophy on that the other day because we were actually at the strip malls now, which are like all the things are lined up.
Yeah.
I had two thoughts. Number one was those stores are too big now to be like, because remember mall stores were fairly small. So like for example, like Ollie's and like those stores are fairly big. JCPenney was big, but your big stores were kind of like at the end of the malls, right? Like they had like the prime real estate, but a lot of those stores have gotten like bigger. So there's that. Plus,
or they've.
I don't think people. Well, yeah, or they went bankrupt. Plus, I don't think people want to go like into a place to go to multiple stores anymore. They just want to go to that one place and then leave. So that's kind of sad.
I did that
because really the real estate, like if you go to Plymouth and their strip mall, which is right by Lowe's, it's the same footprint as what I would say a regular mall is. It's just all the storefronts are like you can get into them like one at a time.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Abandoned malls, it frustrates me. And then I saw that with the cruise ships, and that frustrated me because I'm like, that's wasteful. Why are we being so wasteful? Like, we don't have to be wasteful humans.
I agree.
And seeing cruise ships or like seeing like, those videos of like the thieves and beggars. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
So I've seen those where like boats are rocking and like these like giant bins. I don't know what they are, like truck bins.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. Just like fall, and nobody like saves them.
Nope.
They're just like, well, look at that.
Yep. It's so
Where
weird.
do they go? I mean, some of them, I guess, could be like nice shelters for fishies, but like they're closed. So it's not like somebody's opening them. And then when you open them, see, I'm like going into a rabbit hole. Because then when you open them, whatever was inside is outside. And that's not cool because if it's a bunch of plastic, then there's 8 more trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean.
You're ruining this. You're ruining it.
So I guess that's my grease.
All right, so we should probably talk about the graceful side of things at least, because I could just stay on the greasy side of it. Like the ocean is one of those things where I'm just like, there's so much wrong here, but we're not talking about any of it.
That's because there's not a national submarine.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. There's like a program out there. It's like 10 guys in a room. They're like, hey. My name.
We've been trying to make this cool, but NASA released.
Well, they're all foreigners too. They're like, we have been doing this for a long time. Like they've been living under the ocean. Nobody knows. What if what if it's already happened and like nobody knows? Like what if there's like 100,000 people that are under the ocean?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
And they're like, we don't go upstairs.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons to not go up. Like I'd be real selective. What ocean would you live in?
Oh, good question. That's a great question. I'd want to probably be close to like home. I'm looking at a map of the world right now.
We live in a landlocked state, so
probably the North or South Atlantic. Like because that's kind of that's like where the North Atlantic is like off of like the East Coast. So that sounds fairly. I mean, someplace warm. Where's the warm water at?
I mean. It's warm. I feel like the Indian.
Hey man, where are you at? Oh, I'm at the Antarctic Ocean. Like, oof, it's cold up here.
I think I live. I don't know, the Pacific. I feel like the Indian Ocean is like the most protected.
Yeah, that's definitely like right in between Africa and Australia. Like, and then the question is too, like, what? This is so dumb. What if like all those people like had a completely different like accent because they've been living under the ocean for so long? They just speak like crazy.
That'd be crazy.
Yep. So anyway,
Man.
Graceful side. You do yours first because you only had one on each.
I don't know. Like I just swam in it. And
for the first time? Did you say for the first time?
Not for the first time. I thought it was for the first time. But it's not like I'm like a ocean goer by any means.
You're not like, hey, we're going to go to the ocean.
No.
Okay.
Also because it's far no matter.
Do you not swim? Do you swim or not swim? Okay.
Yeah, I can swim.
Just curious.
But we just swam and I didn't think that it was going to be as fun as what it was. But the waves were so fun to swim in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a good time. And I would love to surf. There's a lot of really cool things that you can do in the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
100%.
Surfing. You can't do that in like one of the Great Lakes.
No, you can't. No. Did I tell you the other day that I found that there is whitewater rafting in South Bend? Oh, I almost texted this to you.
What? Whitewater? What?
This is so funny.
Is that where like the people get out and like shake the boat, and they're like, "Oh, this is a rocky one."
Kim, I almost went to do it because I was like, this is a joke, right? So
Is it real?
they made it through like this waterway. It takes, I kid you not, it takes 5 minutes and it's $5 to do. It starts at the top and it goes all the way down, and they're like, no, there's no guides. Like you just get in a boat and you just go.
And like whatever boat.
They get a helmet. You get a helmet. You get a raft, and like 4 people go on it. I almost did it. I was like, this is a joke, right? And there's like
5 minutes.
kid you not.
5
It's like,
If I'm going, that's a weird afternoon to like, you know what I feel like doing? I feel like
man.
whitewater rafting for a second. You go and then you're like, all right, well, my day's done. Like that's weird. I would love to go white. Have you ever gone whitewater rafting?
Oh yeah, in Virginia, we've been whitewater rafting a long time. It's called East Race Waterway. It is,
Which I've heard of East Race, but I didn't know it was.
you can do a 1 ride pass, 2 ride pass, 3 ride pass, day pass, or you can get a season pass, and they'll let you kayak on it too as well. But it is, if you look, so it's kind of sad. Like you look up the map and you go, this is not far. Like you're kind of like, it's like, hey, like there's all these pictures of like people rafting and stuff like that. Like so let's just put it this way: you could get in the boat and just like pinball like back and forth between these cement posts
and
just get down like that way. They're
that's
like,
so unfortunate.
yeah, they're like average time is 5 minutes.
I'm going to. So I've been planning a somewhat trip with some friends where we're going to.
Where are you going?
I think we're going to go to Colorado and we're going to RV.
Oh,
I think we're going to RV through Colorado.
that or Virginia.
And
Virginia's Virginia's like so here. So
my
just,
best friend loves Virginia.
yeah. So if you're gonna raft, they say raft in Virginia because the conditions of the water are more predictable, whereas in Colorado, like you never know if you're gonna get good water or not.
Unpredictable.
There you go. Then you should go to Colorado because they say it's so unpredictable, and because it's
Like
unpredictable.
it's calm.
Well, yeah, like because it's unpredictable, your ride could be like not that great.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You can go to Virginia and you could die.
Well, I'm here for that.
So anyway, back to the ocean. Your graceful side of the ocean.
My graceful side of the ocean. The food that comes out of the ocean.
Oh, there you go.
tastes
Yeah, Chef Kim's coming out
delicious.
full throttle. Give me like your top 3.
From the ocean.
Yeah, has to be oceanic.
I think I like crab over lobster.
Ooh,
Like, I told Josh the other day that
like Alaskan king crab.
Yeah. Like some crab legs sound so.
That sounds so good right now.
good.
I'm gonna call Bethany and be like, hey.
Crab legs are getting more expensive, by the way.
Oh,
Something
everything's
with
expensive.
like Russia has closed off they were like the importers of crab.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird? And they like shut off they were like, no more crab for you.
No more crab for you.
And so
No soup for you.
they shut it down, and so
That's weird.
crab is going to go up. I like the actual facts. Listen, don't get your actual facts from anything from me. I mean,
All right.
for heaven's sake, I
Unless you're talking about
said
food.
that the continents were floating potentially. So,
They're not.
but
Just so you guys know,
crab's
that's
gonna be more
not
expensive.
true.
But so top 3: crab,
Okay.
oysters, and I don't know that I've tried enough, like a fish.
Mm.
But I don't know that I've tried. I really like swordfish.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Really, really good. What about you?
Top 3 like foods or my graceful thing about the ocean. I love the ocean. I love it.
Yeah,
Like,
but like your foods.
So before I tell you my foods, like if I'm standing on a beach, like I just get blown away at how crazy planet Earth is. Like it's just so
Yeah.
huge, and like waves are so powerful and stuff like that. So that's like my graceful side of things. Food wise, I'm with you on the crab thing. It's so fun, and it's such an experience. You know,
It is. Although I get frustrated because it's so much work, and I'm like, I don't want
It
to work
is.
that much.
They'll do it for you, like high class
but like, I
restaurants will do
don't
it for you.
want that either. I don't want to work.
You want to
but,
work for it, but you don't want to work for it. That's fair. Let's see. Other 2, like I mean fish, like
That's a
duh.
like
Have you ever had like
scallops.
octopus? Have you ever had like that
I
stuff?
have.
That's pretty
I've
good.
cooked octopus.
Mhm.
You have to boil it first
Because
And, like,
they stay
water-
alive, right? Like, or their things.
I
keep
refuse
moving.
to cook anything from alive. I refuse.
You won't do it?
I told my boss. So we had training like once a month, And we were talking about like a turkey farm or something like that.
Yeah.
And I legitimately turned to my boss, and as we
You're
were
like,
talking
nope,
about
not
it,
doing
and
it.
I was like, if I see an animal get killed in front of me,
Really?
I am leaving this job.
You can't do
Like,
it, huh? I'm leaving this job.
I can appreciate the animal, but like if I see it living and then I see it die, like if I see the life exist from it, I get so sad.
Really?
Like, oh yeah. Like
You cook every day.
I cook every day, but I don't kill the animal because, and I used to work with a chef who he would say like, thank you for this life that was taken. And I really found that like to be a beautiful experience. But like when people are like, oh, just thinking about it, like there's people who like eat on YouTube.
Oh, like stuff that's live, yeah.
And I'm like, that hurts the animal.
So you're saying like
mad.
you would agree more with like the kill and then eat, like don't like stretch this thing
but
out.
I would never kill it either.
Yeah.
Like I just no, but yeah, I've cooked octopus, and octopus is really good. It just has to be cooked correctly because it's so delicate that like it can get really rubbery really fast.
Yeah.
And there's like a fine line. You know what I would love to try? Puffer fish.
What about turtles? You ever eaten a turtle?
No.
Crocodile?
I think I've had crocodile jerky.
Yeah.
I've had kangaroo, which isn't an ocean.
Yeah, that's weird.
But anyways, yeah, so the food is my graceful. But then yes, I can agree. Like I look out and it is astounding. And it's also amazing that the moon and the sun and the position of which controls the waves, which I've looked that up before.
It's crazy.
I don't understand it.
There is nothing better than being on the coast and like watching the sun go down and like because it doesn't, the earth rotates, we know that, but like watching like that disappear and it's wild.
Yeah.
Like you can live in the Midwest and you can look out like in the farm fields and all that other stuff and you watch the sun go down and you're like, okay,
cool.
yeah, another day in the life of being in Indiana, right? And then but there's something else that happens when you are standing on the beach and like, I mean, people clap. Like,
do they?
Oh yeah.
I bet they clap at the end of movies too.
Yeah, like so we used to go on spring break. We used to go down to Florida every year, and we would go to like where the when the sun set, and people just they clap. And then we went to California.
That's crazy.
We were just there, and we're standing like on the coast, and everybody's like, yeah.
That's super strange.
It's
sorry
so
if you
cool.
clapped at the sun.
Yeah, like there's like
doing its job.
yeah. There was like guys on surfboards that are just hanging out in the water.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, yeah. They just celebrate it.
That's
like it's
so
super
weird.
cool.
You strike me as somebody who would live on the ocean.
100%. 100%.
Like you have a surfboard and you're like the weird dude with a beard.
100%.
Like what is it?
Yep.
There's a movie
I'd do
where
it.
Paul Rudd.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
His name was like Kunu. You strike me as somebody that like.
Oh man, I could totally do it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. Like
in California, there's no bugs. There's
there's
weather.
gotta be bugs.
Some, but like it's 72, 74 degrees every day. Like it's just chilling, and everybody chills, and like the water is so calming. And I think it's because of the water. Like they say, if you get around like places where like there's a lot of like majestic mountains or oceans or stuff like that, they're like people are different in those places than they are in like remote places because like they have this. They just have like the awe of things that are happening and transpiring.
I mean, yeah, if you like look at like how anybody lives in like Hawaii.
Maybe that's why we don't live in the ocean, because you couldn't like see out. It's just straight water. You get depressed.
And it would be dark.
It would.
You wouldn't get sun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would want to live in the ocean. I'd live on the ocean.
I'd have a house in the ocean. When the winter hits, just boop, plop me right down in there.
I don't know how I feel about that, Jordan.
next to Barry the blue whale. Like, that's I ride him sometimes.
Have you ever surfed?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have not.
Yeah.
Is it hard?
It's not hard.
It's like skateboarding?
It's so like around here, we do like wake surfing and wakeboarding and stuff like that, which is kind of similar. The harder part is like catching the actual wave. It's like when the wave comes in, you have to like jump pretty much on top of the wave, for lack of a better term, to get into it. So you have to kind of like that's the hardest part for people, is to get it started and to stay in when it's moving. But
that's tricky.
But hey, let me tell you what, like surfers, like if you watch them in the Olympics, like we're gonna talk about next week.
Have they already had their competition?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
It's crazy because those guys just like.
I'll pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah, like the last guy, he's like cruising in the ocean, and he's like, hey man, you lose, and he's like, bummer, dude. Like he doesn't even care.
They're all so chill.
Oh
like,
yeah, big time.
It is like you see like people in Hawaii and stuff like that, and like they're all just like, nah.
That's what I'm saying. That's my graceful side of the ocean is like you get people who are in that place. And even if like you look at like some of the Discovery shows where people are like in the Alaskan Ocean and it's like life is tough and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, this is the hardest life ever. They get on the water and they get different. Like they just get different. And I don't know, man. Something to be said about that.
I don't know.
So
I haven't lived next to it. I do have one little tiny grease that isn't necessarily related to the ocean, but it is related to the ocean. If you have a Salt Life sticker on your car and you live in this landlocked state that we are in, take it off your car. Take it off your car. I'm calling you all out.
Bethany used to have a sticker that said, you know how people had like those ovals that said like 26.2, which is a marathon, 13.1. She had one that said, I don't run. 0.0.
I see so many like Salt Life stickers here, and I'm like, where are you at?
Here's the deal.
What is your license plate state?
You bought that when you were at the ocean. You came back and you're like, no, man, I love it. And you're like,
no.
Stop.
The closest body of water that we have that is large is Lake Michigan. Lake Life, okay?
Lake Life, baby.
Come on. You're in a very landlocked state.
There you go.
Otherwise, I don't
disagree.
Sporting the Salt Life sticker on your car, Billy.
With a truck. It's lifted.
A lifted truck.
Like, we gotta go do some corn. Man, come on, buddy.
Oh, man, I bet we just probably
there we go. Stepping on Indiana toes.
Good chunk of Indiana mad at us.
All right, Kim.
38 of us.
So what do you want to hear? Like, as we land this plane, like, what?
Would you live underwater?
I know it sounds like it's such a ridiculous topic, but it's really not. It's really not.
Nobody lives in space.
I'm telling you what, like it's.
Well, I guess we all live in space.
I'd love to hear your greasy side of the ocean because I'm sure you have it. I'm sure people are like, I never thought about that before. Or here's the deal: we don't think about that stuff. But if you're, it's kind of like if somebody looked at you and been like, "Hey, what's the worst part of cornfields?" You would have a list. You would be like, "Oh, allergies." Like
I corn detasseled, so I do have a list.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about them corn stalks.
Yeah, like you'd have so much things to say. So I'm sure there's people like on the coast that are like, oh, let me tell you about like.
Well, if we reach out to the coast, the one person, let me know.
Let us know, Phil.
Who lives on the ocean? Please let us know.
What's her name from SpongeBob?
Sandy Cheeks.
She's like, I'll tell you about the ocean.
That's what I call my mother-in-law.
Sandy.
Her name is
Cheeks.
Sandy. Hi, Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks.
She used to be in my phone as Sandy Cheeks. I don't think she is anymore. But
all right, next week.
Anyways.
Here's what we're gonna do. Next week we are talking about the Olympics. We are bringing it back. So if you have not gone and listened, go and listen to our Olympic episode because what we did is we unpacked the greasy and the graceful side of the Olympics. It was fantastic. I promise it's worth a second listen, even if you've heard it once.
Yes.
The reason why we want you to revisit that is because we watched the Olympics for 2 weeks and now we're ready.
With like a critical eye.
Oh, we are ready to come
I've
back.
learned so many weird things. I feel like I'm coming in next week with like weird things that I have discovered as I'm watching.
Well, I'm looking at you, Simone.
And like TikTok
Oh
too,
man,
I can appreciate because it shows like the inside, like the sports perspective.
Yeah.
Or no, the sport competitors' perspective
Yeah.
of like everything. Let's just go into it right now, Jordan. I've been taking notes.
So Kim is excited for
I'm
next
about as
week.
excited about this week as you were
There
about
it
this
is.
week.
That's what I was just going to say. She is as excited about the Olympics as I am or was about
the ocean.
The ocean.
Did we properly grease and grace the ocean? Are there any last
No, I'm good.
thoughts?
I will save it. So until
for
next
our
time.
next conversation about the ocean?
Part 2. All right. Let us know. Rate, comment, subscribe, all of those fun things. if you found any episode that was worth a second listen, take a second listen. If you want to share that episode, share that episode. Like give it to mom or friends or grandma or grandpa. We don't care how old you are.
Or just
like,
tell us how good we're doing.
Also, Kim and I are looking for sponsorships.
Yeah,
So just a small little plug. If you have a product or something that you want to promote and we can, kind of connect together, by all means, hit us up. Let us know. We got a few leads on some people that we would like to promote, but we're working on some partnerships there. So if you want to partner with us,
exciting.
Hit us up. Let us know.
greaseandgracepod@gmail.com.
Until next time.
See you later.
See you.